feel like this review's a little late, but, you know, why not? Portugal, the man, Woodstock. So prior to this album, I barely had any real experience with this band except maybe a couple tracks from Evil Friends and then the lead single off of this, Feel It Still, which really caught my attention because it really does have a really good danceable vibe, you know what I mean? Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks, yeah. That hook is really good. So after listening to this album multiple times, I decided, you know, let's listen to their other stuff before I really review this album, so we kind of see it from a fan's point of view. And really, there's not that much of a difference in this album because I still have instrumentation in there. It still has kind of this poppy feel, but I feel like this album's very pop-esque compared to the rest of their like discography. They have a couple of guest artists on here like Fat Lip, which is interesting. So let's dive into Woodstock. So what we got here? For some odd reason, I did think this album was gonna be like this weird indie rock album, and it really isn't. It's more of a pop aesthetic alternative album. There's lots of sing-along melodies and uproaring choruses that are like pushing you to want to sing the choruses, which I'm always into. I always love a little sing-along, you know what I mean? Like, I really dig the track I Feel It Still. I think it's a great single off this album, and it really has that danceable vibe. This track definitely has a slick bass line to it. And it also has a really nice brass dynamic in there that I really like. The bum, bum, and then it just changes throughout the song and has these really nice moments with the brass. I almost want to say there's like some kind of oriental guitar in here, but I feel like I'm wrong. It's like a sitar or something of that lines. That's what it sounded like to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they just have something, a pedal that maybe gave it that sound, their guitar. I have no idea, but either way, it's awesome. I love the sound. But really, my main concern with this album is the lyrical content is a little lacking. I mean, sure, you have catchy hooks in there, but there's really no like impact on any of these songs or like anything that really makes you feel awesome listening to it, except maybe I Feel It Still. Rich Friends, for example, is just, I don't know where to begin with this one. It's weirdly about wanting a rich friend. It can mean two things, probably. One being you really want to use that friend, or for two, you actually just want to have a rich friendship, which I'm more leaning towards, you know, the second one, because the first one's kind of awful. And also, this album lacks an intrigue. There's not really, I don't know, there's just not a lot going on here in this album, except maybe the instrumentations are pretty interesting for the most part, though. Like, Keep On has some really good instrumentation there, but these really wacky lyrics that aren't really even fun, they're just kind of goofy. I don't even know. A song about tripping and trying to be someone is something I can get behind, but how they put it together just feels awkward to me. Maybe that's just me, though. I really like the bluesy vibes in So Young, and its vocal arrangements are nice. It's just the song, the lyrics are bland, just a problem there. Noise Pollution, on the other hand, this has this really awesome synthesizers, like drums, drum machines, bass in there, and it's a kickin' tune, I'm not gonna lie. Really great closing track for the album. It's probably the coolest song on the album, and it's just a great closing track for this kind of mixed baggage of an album. So overall, what do I really think of this album as a whole? So what you get with this album is just a mixed bag. It's harmless, it's a little cringy at times, but overall it's good background noise. I think it would be great for parties and even driving, of course, and it's harmless. I do think this band has a lot of potential, though. I think they could be something more grandiose than what they're presenting here, and just most of this music kind of remind me of like young Bloodhawk, and I don't know, I feel like I've heard some of these sounds before and just wasn't that impressive to me. And there's a long lineup of awesome music that came out just this week, really. I do think you can skip this album but I feel like you might enjoy a couple songs off it, so just check out a couple of songs, and if you actually like the whole album, that's awesome. Happy for you. I mean, I like this album, I'm still listening to it. It's just something that's kind of low on my list. I mean, there's a couple, like 3 tracks that I really do like on this album, but overall, it's just meh. So I'd give it like a 3 out of 5, because I do feel like it's unique enough, but lyrically, just not great. But anyways, have a good one, and peace.